A mysterious underworld mafia releases several death dolls into the world. With the humans in danger, fairy-like women come to the rescue. Will they succeed in saving the world, or will evil prevail? Let's find out, as today, on Anime Recaps, we will be covering a movie, Shakugan no Shana. The movie opens up inside a high school, where one of the students, Yuji Sakai, is not paying attention to the teacher. To his bad luck, the teacher asks him to get up and recite the ongoing chapter. As Yuji hesitates to answer, he is helped by a girl sitting beside him, Katsumi. Later, after school, Yuji speaks with his friend, Ike, and asks him if he would like to go to the market. Ike refuses by telling him that he has a mock test exam and walks away. Because of this, Yuji heads to the market alone and enters a digital store to buy some movies. Surprisingly, Katsumi is also in the same store with her friend, Yukari. Out of nowhere, Yukari asks Katsumi if she likes Yuji. Katsumi is shocked to hear this and denies the fact. As Yukari likes Ike, she tells Katsumi that they can help each other get closer to the person they like. At the same time, Yukari notices Yuji inside the shop and asks Katsumi to go and talk to him. Afraid, rather than talking with Yuji, Katsumi runs away from the shop. Moments later, Yukari approaches Yuji and asks him if he knows about Ike. Yuji replies that Ike has gone to prepare for his exams. Hearing this, Yukari asks if Ike has a girlfriend. Yuji is a little surprised to hear this and replies that Ike is focused on his studies and that he does not have a girlfriend. After getting this information about Ike, Yukari runs away from the place. As soon as Yukari leaves, the lights of the town start to flicker, and a blue light-like phenomenon appears all over the town. This phenomenon stops all movements and freezes everything around. All human beings and time freezes, except Yuji. This phenomenon is known as Fujetsu. Yuji is shocked to witness this and wonders about what's going on. Suddenly, there arrive two crimson denizens, the ones who possess the capacity to control the power of existence, a basic force present in all living creatures that serve as the fuel for their existence. Meanwhile, the nearby frozen people turn into blue torch-like flames, and the baby denizen starts consuming the flames. Yukari is also turned into a flame, and seeing this, Yuji shouts her name. Just then, the two denizens notice Yuji walking and conclude that he is a Mystes, a special character who has the ability to restrain the power of existence. When the baby denizen approaches Yuji to steal his riches, surprisingly, its arm gets severed. After this, the denizen starts crying while Yuji collapses on the ground. To Yuji's aid, there appears a young lady brandishing a sword and having flame-colored hair and eyes called Flame Haze. Flame Hazes are the ones who have contracted with the Crimson Lord to maintain balance in the parallel world by destroying any denizens who try to disrupt it. Despite the baby's pleas, the lady slashes its head with her sword. She continuously converses with her pendant named Alastor and follows its orders. Once she notices Yuji, she quickly moves to grab the lady standing behind him. Although the lady is slain by Flame Haze, a doll manages to escape from inside her. Meanwhile, the ball-like denizen, with multiple heads, also tries to attack Yuji, but Flame Haze intervenes and destroys it. The Flame Haze girl then uses the flames of the motionless individuals to rebuild the area that was damaged during the fight. With this, the Fusetsu phenomenon is then turned off and the crowd is brought back to its original state. When Yuji sees Yukari, he notices that she is acting strangely. Additionally, he perceives a flame in her and the others. He also notices the people vanishing away when the flame inside them becomes weak. Later, Yuji inquires with the Flame Haze girl about what's going on. However, the girl simply responds that she is a Flame Haze and tries to walk away. When Yuji continuously asks her about the situation, she informs him that he has already died years ago and that he is a Mystes now, one who is a torch and has a special power inside them. She also tells him that the denizens devour the living people and later replace them with a torch inside them to maintain the balance in the world. Later, when the torch starts to diminish, the memory of these people also diminishes from the world and their existence gets erased. Somewhere else, the doll, Marianne, that appears to save the denizens, apologizes to a man in a white tuxedo for losing her Rin, the doll inside whom she resided. The two then stare at the crystal altar, a recreation of the city with flames in place of people, and the man commends the doll for discovering a Misties. The following day, Yuji is having breakfast at home and watching the news about the Gobi Desert, where his father is said to be. Yuji then examines his mother and discovers that she does not have a flame within her. Seeing this, he becomes happy and departs for school. On his way to the school, he runs into the flame haze girl, who tells him that she is keeping an eye on him. At the same time, Yuji sees Yukari and notices that the flame inside her has diminished, and the flame haze girl reveals that Yukari will vanish by the end of the day. Hearing this, Yuji runs to Yukari and tries to strike a conversation, but she is no longer upbeat. Because of this, he makes the decision to stay with her for the day and save her from getting vanished. When they arrive at the school, the teacher asks him to come in, but he does not notice Yukari. Yuji then gets to know that everyone has started forgetting her. In the next scene, trying to light up the torch inside Yukari more brightly, Yuji asks Ike to have lunch with Yukari, as she likes him. Yukari also agrees, and after having lunch together, Yuji takes them to the market inside the same CD shop. They also take some photos and enjoy their time together. After that, they look at some CDs, and Yuji is called by the Flame Haze girl outside. The Flame Haze girl suggests Yuji stop doing so and asks him to stay close to her. After Yuji returns, he does not find Yukari around and becomes angry at Ike for being careless. Fortunately, he finds Yukari on the side of a river. She is looking at the photo that they took earlier and disappears into flames. Just then, the Flame Haze girl arrives there and takes some of Yukari's flames onto her finger. Moments later, Yukari disappears from the photo too. Yuji becomes sad seeing this, and before returning home, he asks the Flame Haze girl her real name. When she tells him that she does not have any name, Yuji names her after the sword she carries, Shana. Later at night, Katsumi is at her home, putting some cookies in her bag to give to Yuji. She is afraid to talk to Yuji alone, so decides to take Yukari's help. The next day, when she is getting ready for school, she looks at the photo of Yukari and others. Surprisingly, as soon as she leaves, the photo of Yukari vanishes from the picture and she is replaced by a strange girl. At school, Shana can be seen sitting in Yukari's seat, and everyone there believes that she is Yukari. Yuji is surprised to see this, and when he approaches Shana, she tells him that she did so to keep an eye on him. On the other hand, after knowing that Shana is with Yuji, the man in the white tuxedo makes plans to attack them and sends his doll, Rin, from earlier to do so. He reminds Rin that she's going to fight against the flame-haired, burning-eyed hunter, and also provides her with a magical deck of cards for her assistance. During lunchtime in the school, Rin activates Fuzetsu and tries to attack Yuji with the deck of cards. Fortunately, Shana is near Yuji and she blocks the attacks. She then destroys the deck of cards, causing an explosion around the classroom and injuring the classmates who were frozen. While Yuji checks on his friends, Shana picks up the injured Rin and threatens her to reveal her master. Suddenly, the man in white tuxedo appears in front of Shana and introduces himself as Friagni, the king of Goose. He then promises to come back for Yuji's hidden powers and vanishes from there. After he leaves, Shana tries to use Katsumi's power of existence to repair the damage to the building, but Yuji stops her from doing so. He rather agrees to sacrifice his existence, believing that he is the reason for all the trouble. In the next scene, a long blonde-haired woman, Marjorie Daw, can be seen standing on top of a tower, holding a talking book, Marcosius. The city, according to Marjorie, reeks from all of the torches. On the other hand, an exhausted Shana is sitting on Yuji's roof. Right then, her pendant, Alastor, informs her about the presence of another flame haze nearby. The next day, Shana urges Yuji to hurry to school. While Yuji is putting on his shoes, Shana notices his flame and realizes that it has become brighter than it was yesterday. She talks with Alastor about it, and he is also surprised to see this. On their way to school, Yuji reveals that he can observe movement in other people's flames, just like a heartbeat. He tells Shana about it since he is not accustomed come to the situation. Shana speaks with Alastor and asserts that it is a result of the treasure weapon he possesses. They hypothesize that the pulsing of the torches in Misaki City can only occur when an unrestricted spell is being cast. Suddenly, a spell wave goes past them, stealing the existence power from the nearby torches. According to Alastor, the other flame haze is doing it as an effort to bring Friagni out. At the same time, Marjorie can be seen chanting the unrestricted spell and wiping out the torches at a tremendous rate. This is noticed by Friagni, who converses with Rin to accelerate his plan of attacking Yuji and extracting the special power out of him. Trying to find the next flame haze, Yuji and Shana run towards the source and arrive at a construction site. There they notice Marjorie and try to stop her from casting the spell. Yuji confronts Marjorie from extinguishing the torches around, saying that the torches also have their life and importance. But hearing this, Marjorie gets angry and attacks Yuji, punching him to the ground. Meanwhile, Alastor warns Marjorie, informing her that Yuji is actually a Misties. Out of nowhere, Friagni emerges there and berates Marjorie for extinguishing the torches around the city. Right then, Marjorie summons a Fuzetsu and transforms herself into a werewolf, declaring that she will slay Friagni. Shana also transforms into her real appearance and prepares her blade. They both attack Friagni, but his magical ring protects him from their attacks, creating a bubble around him. When Shana rushes to attack him the second time, Friagni releases his magical dolls, Rin. Suddenly, Friagni pulls out a magical bell, and its ringing sets the dolls off, making them explode. Yuji tries to warn Shana about it, but is sent away flying because of the explosion. Friagni then picks up Yuji and departs from there, causing yet another explosion with the bell. Before departing, he also challenges the flame hazes to come to the top of the city at night if they want a rematch. After Yuji's capture, Shana seems a little upset and sits on the stairs, thinking about him. Marjorie approaches her and asks if she wants to attack Friagni. Shana says yes, and the two prepare to fight Friagni at night. In the following scene, Yuji is at Friagni's place, surrounded by dolls. Soon, Friagni comes up to Yuji and raises his gun, which he refers to as Trigger Happy. He explains the gun's capability to awaken contracted Crimson Lords and dispel the flame haze to which the Lord is subjected. He mentions that if he does so, the awakened Lords will retreat to the Crimson Realm, out of fear that they would upset the delicate balance of the universe, leaving Friagni alone to rule the world. At the same time, Marjorie rides on Marcosius, while Shana ignites her powers and leaps buildings as they approach Friagni at his place. Meanwhile, Friagni and Yuji sense the fire haze girls coming. In no time, the girls arrive and start destroying the Rins. However, Friagni keeps sending more towards them and blows them using his magical bell. When Yuji tries to save Shana, Friagni throws him away to a fence. There, Yuji notices the flame pulses around the city becoming stronger. He then stands up and informs Shana that Friagni is trying to do something big around the city. In the meantime, the torches are consumed to activate the phenomenon as the city devourer. With this, the flame haze girls discover Friagni's plot to transform the city into a source of energy. Yuji also finds out that Friagni is using the magical bell to summon the city devourer, a powerful unrestricted spell which has the phenomenon of instantly transforming a sizable region into a power of existence. Friagni is doing all this to permanently establish the existence of his favorite Rin, Marianne. After disposing of all the Rins, Shana and Marjorie go to Friagni. Marianne, who is beside Friagni, asks his permission to attack the flame hazes. She then attacks Shana while inside a Rin, but instead gets destroyed. Though Shana destroys Rin, Marianne, who is still alive, ties Shana up with a metal chain. Friagni uses this opportunity and explodes Marianne with the magical bell. This explosion is so huge that it blows everyone away. In the next scene, Shana slowly awakens but is unable to stand due to her broken skull. Friagni, furious about losing Marianne, gets up and points Trigger Happy at Shana. Seeing this, Yuji suggests Shana activate a Fuzetsu, which she does, and stops the effects of city devouring. Enraged, Friagni shoots her, bringing forth the manifestation of Alastor. Marjorie and Marcosius escape the place after seeing the huge fireball manifestation of Astor. Friagni also gets shocked. Alastor then tells Friagni that Shana is a great being and can easily survive his attack of Trigger Happy. He then destroys Friagni with his flame of retribution and sends sends everything flying away. Shana is visible to Yuji, but he is knocked out and thrown away by the force of the flame of retribution. After this phenomenon, Yuji is lying on the side of the road and he sees Shana sitting in front of him. According to Alastor, Yuji's torch is fading. Yuji puts his hand in the air and watches it being transparent. With time running out, Yuji requests Shana to continue using the name he gave her, to which she agrees. After this, he slowly vanishes away. Moments later, when the large clock strikes midnight, Yuji returns to normal. Shana chuckles as Yuji wonders what's going on. Alastor affirms that Reiji Maigo, a treasure tool belonging to Yuji, is the reason for his reappearance, which refills his torch every night. At the end of the movie, Alastor and Shana choose to remain with Yuji, while Marjorie notices them and flies away with Marcosius.